All right. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Dylan Digital. I'm a talent acquisition specialist recruiter that really loves video games. And today we're going to be reacting to Ubisoft's layoff that just happened today. So this is going to be a live. So if anyone's in, want to chat about what's going on with Ubisoft, more than welcome. I'm going to be doing some stuff in the background real quick just to make sure we're all set. How's everyone's day been going? Hey, Angel Girl, how you doing? Welcome. I know it's not the normal rotation, but it's like a emergency kind of live stream. if you catch my drift. Emergency live stream talking about Ubisoft's layoff that just happened. Gonna be starting up here in the next like 2 minutes or so. We have Fanboy. Shout outs. You said that's kind of sad, but that's a reality of the game industry. Still hope they can land a job as soon as possible. Yeah, man. Same here. We're seeing a lot of layoffs happen more and more, and this is like the first big one of 2026. So I wanted to cover it live and just go over what's going on X, what's going on for the, just current events for it, and most importantly, what's going on with it on LinkedIn as well. We're going to be covering all that. Covering all of that. Let me just repost some stuff real quick here, guys. Yeah, man, I hate seeing these layoffs, man. Like, after experiencing one myself, it's just dreadful, All right. Okay, cool. So we're going to be doing this super live here, guys. So Ubisoft recently announced that there's going to be doing some layoffs today, right? And that's going to be dealing with the Halifax studio, I believe. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but yeah, man. The thing about this that makes it a little bit strange is that apparently the workers was in the process of getting unionized. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but let's see what IGN has to say about it. So Ubisoft shuts down Assassin's Creed Rebellion developer just weeks after it got unionized. Okay, then good. That's the confirmation there, right? 71 employees got impacted here, guys. 71. Now, some people might say, oh, 71, that's a small number. No, it's not. Any number that they showcase is a lot, because you got to think big picture here. That's like 71 families at the start of the year figuring out what in the world to do after getting this layoff, Some of them might get severance, some of them might not even get anything, So that's something to really think about there. Omar, thanks for stopping by, man. Looking forward to our meeting on the 18th, man. Looking forward to that. Gonna make content around it too. Showcase in my newsletter as well, man. Shout outs. But yeah, let's read more about this. Ubisoft has shut down the Halifax studio just weeks after 61 of its 71 workers voted to unionize. The publisher shared that the news statement today on IGN, confirming that 71 positions have been impacted and claiming this move is part of a wider, and there goes the ad, a wider 2-year effort company-wide streamline operations, improve efficiency, and reduce cost. Once again, all things that we hear when it comes to getting laid off. These companies wants to optimize and optimize and optimize, and they just human lives are human lives are important, right? How much more profit do you actually need when it comes to things, right? It's crazy. So this comes 3 weeks after the 61 of Ubisoft's Halifax employees voted to unionize with the Game and Media Workers Guild of Canada, which is cool. I didn't know that was a thing, but shout outs to them for being a thing for Canada. I wonder if we have something equivalent for the United States. Most likely we do, but it's good to know. Yeah, man. Shout outs, Omar. It's going to be fun. Real fun. Let's see here. The union was officially certified 6 months after employees announced their intentions to unionize, and after 74% of eligible employees, consisting of a mixture of programmers, producers, designers, artists, researchers, and testing, voted in favor. It marked the first Ubisoft union in North America. Wow. The first Ubisoft union in North America. And then these employees just got cut, just with the layoff. The timing is crazy here, guys. I'm not sure if I've come across something like this in my career, and I've been doing this for like 10 years. I'm still a young buck in some people's eyes, but I feel like 10 years is a long time. 10 plus years. Fanboy says, I really think the Tencent issue played a big part of this, plus the fail ratings of their games from year to year hurts the company a lot. Yeah, there have been a lot of bad press with Ubisoft. Wow, even like currently with what's that game called? The game that got hacked recently. The Tom Clancy's game, the live service game. That game got hacked twice. I think it's the second time the game got hacked, and it's just between that and their recent releases, I don't know what Ubisoft is doing. I used to remember the good old days of playing like the real old school Assassin's Creed game. I'm talking about Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2, Revelations. Those are some good Assassin's Creed games. Black Flag was my favorite, and now they're coming out with things like Skull and Bones and anyway. So Ubisoft claimed that the closure was unrelated to the union, they said, and instead part of the larger restructuring of saving costs as well as declining revenues from the Assassin's Creed Rebellion. Okay. So, which will also be winding down operations as part of the decision. Mm-hmm. So the publisher is undergoing lots of cuts here, guys. That's laying off employees in batches, right? Over the years, shutting down studios, canceling multiple projects, the whole works, right? And this is the stake you was talking about here, fanboy. The 25% stake from Tencent when they went to the, I don't know what, and that's the thing, right? These huge companies, right? They have these IPs, they have these communities, right? I'm not sure why they're not listening to their communities, right? Listening to these circles, right? It's baffling to me, to be quite honest. Super baffling. Let's see what X has to say. Let's see what X or Twitter or whatever you like to call it has to say about this, and then we will just check out what LinkedIn has to say about it, and then we'll close out from there. We read that article quite recently. Ubisoft, and there are going to be some trolls on here that comes across saying, "Oh, Ubisoft is shut down," and they just say, "Oh, it's just this part of the studio." I don't like it when people do this. They just don't. This person probably never experienced a layoff at all, right? Ubisoft has closed. Ubisoft has closed one of their studios. Sees Ubisoft Halifax got unionized, closed the studio shortly after. Says closure has nothing to do with unionizing. What's your take? My take is that it's very convenient for them to say something like that, right? I feel like something's up here. Something is definitely up here with this unionization and the layoffs being so close to it. It doesn't make sense. I feel like a lawsuit might be coming from this, from my expectations. If these 71 employees like kind of come together, see and say, hey, this is a little bit too convenient for you guys to lay us off while we just got this unionized process, you know? Another comment from Fanboy says, in game design perspective, putting RPG mechanics in a realistic Assassin's Creed game is kind of meh. I think that it is also one of the reasons why the fan base have been divided. Very good point on that end. Once they started to implement those, and thanks for commenting, by the way, Fanboy. Once they started implementing those RPG mechanics in the games, it got a little bogged down, right? Like, think about the Assassin's Creed game that was in Egypt and the Assassin's Creed Valhalla games. Those games are really spread out, like hundreds of hours of gameplay. They really want you to stay in those games and play, which is I understand. But at the same time, I felt like it was bloat. I know they try to return to form with Assassin's Creed Mirage and stuff like that. I was going to play that, but it was on Game Pass, and you guys all know Game Pass recently raised their prices to $30 from the $20, and I was like, I'm out, Chief. I'd rather just build a PC or just get a Steam machine, a GameCube, and go from there. But yeah, man, it's crazy, man. I miss the old Assassin's Creed game. I know they're coming out with Assassin's Creed Black Flag. That's something that's coming out, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I fell off of Ubisoft games a long time ago. Yeah, it's just a lot of people talking about the layoffs, about the unionization, and them just conveniently just laying them off. Weeks after unionizing. What's this? So this James guy, Raccoon City Survivor, shout outs to him for posting this, but he says, so Ubisoft Canada gets to take advantage of the Nova Sovic digital media tax credit and the federal SR&ED tax credit. Now they're closing Ubisoft Helix down. Less than a month after getting unionized, a month before the game they made comes out. I didn't know it was going to be coming out in a month. That's pretty crazy. And they say scum here. Wow. Okay. Not much on the X side of things. Let's honestly see what LinkedIn has to say, because there's a few people that made a post about this recently. So we got Richard King. Shout out to Richard King. If you don't know who he is very active in the video game space in terms of helping people level up their resume. So check him out if you need some advice on your resume. But he says, well. This is an interesting coincidence. The studio's employees officially unionized on Monday, and today Ubisoft shuts it down. 71 people out of work. Yikes. Let's see what the comments say for this one on his end. Of course, I commented here. I said I was going to be doing a live stream about this. This is why we're here. This is why we're here. So let me see. Troy says, this can't be legal. I'm sure Ubisoft will be investigated for possible. I feel like that as well. I mentioned that earlier in the live. I feel like these 71 people is going to be coming together, and we might see one of the first major lawsuits in the gaming space for 2026 here, guys. I don't know. We might see it. We might see it. Richard King says, agreed. It certainly sends a message to all the other Ubisoft studios, which is chilling, right? And that's the thing. When a layoff happened, it not only affects the people that got laid off, it also affects the people that's still there. When I got laid off on Halloween 2024, you can check it out on the channel. I'm not going to reiterate it here, right? It was like a furlough, and then afterwards, like 8 months later kind of thing. Well, actually, no, 4 months later, it was a layoff from there. So I survived one, felt that survivor's guilt, then I got laid off myself. So it's like a whole thing, guys. It's a whole mental thing. Let me see. Jordan says, I'm going to take the very unpopular side and get obliterated in the comments. What's this? Have a job with great benefits, working on stuff I love, and get paid more than most people on earth. But rabble, we need to unionize. Kotaku said developer bad. Studio shut down and moves to a new non-unionized location, and now me and all my union buds are so wow. This guy posted this on LinkedIn. This guy's nailed it. Yeah. Nailed it right on the head there, man. Union. Matthew says, union. How are they supposed to do the unexpected layoffs and make you work 100 hours a week with a union? Sarcasm. Pure sarcasm there. All right. Let's read one more from Richard's post. Oh, Fanboy has something to say here. Fanboy says, they just wanted the players to suck up what they're releasing, like that pirate quadruple A game that failed from Ubisoft. Yeah, you're talking about Skull and Bones. That Skull and Bones game, when they said, oh, this is going to be a quadruple A game, they got dunked on for that online. They definitely got dunked on for that online, and yeah, they made it live service. It was super bad, like super bad. I mean, that pirate game from Xbox, the game is from escaping me now, but that game looks way more fun than Skull and Bones, right? Like, at least you could get off the ship and go walk around with your friends and stuff in that game, but Skull and Bones, forget about it. Black Flag reject game. I don't know what they're doing there, but all right, we have Paulina, executive producer games at Meta. It looks like she commented on this, and this is what she has to say. A dream job shouldn't come at the cost of basic stability. Starting off strong with this. This piece of news about Ubisoft Halifax closing right after the devs unionizing is very saddening, not only because of tens of developers losing their jobs once again, but also because it comes right after such a pivotal moment for them, which she's referring to the union being unionized finally, the first one in North in the Canada region. The games industry certainly improved in recent years in terms of culture, but we still have a passion problem that leads to outcomes like this. Because making games is seen as cool, it's easy to view talent as replaceable, or to use that passion to lower terms, lower security, and nix anything that disturbs the status quo. If We want our industry to mature. We have to find a way to stop treating our devs as interchangeable parts because as cool as games are, it really is the people that makes the magic. Wow, super beautiful. I don't know if you're ever going to watch this, Polina, but that was honestly the best post I've seen all year when it comes to like LinkedIn. Richard King even commented on this as well. But yeah, man, this is madness, right? Like games, honestly, games to me is one of the most important things in my life, right? It got me through very tough times. I always wanted to work in the video game industry, and I'm working in it now as a volunteer recruiter for Games with Love. Shout outs for them. But what I'm trying to say is that games is a very important part of me and who makes me who I am today, right? And the fact that some companies, not all, are using games for like super money makers and pushers and just removing the humanity aspect of it is very sad. It's very, very saddening. And something needs to change, or else the games that we love to play and the franchises that we love will just go away. Because more and more people see this from the outside, and less people get into the gaming industries because of what's going on, right? Let's show Paulina some love here and repost this as well. Okay, Marcel says game developer raising funds for making a socially impactful games. Says same exact thing happened not too long ago at Rockstar, proving the notion of glowing up, even if nobody hears it. This has been happening for many years, and for what? Yeah, people are frustrated, guys. People are frustrated. Let me see. And this is a Unity 3 developer talking about this here. I think it's Antro. Hope I'm saying your name right, bud. I want to take a moment to say how deeply grateful I am for the people I had the privilege to work with. This person used to work there, I think. Let's triple check that. Yep. Oh, Jesus. Yep, he got the banner here. Nice profile picture. Journalist. Yep. This person was a journalist programmer that used to work at Ubisoft. Halifax. It was contract-based work full-time. Started in June to present. So about a year and 8 months this guy had on it. Fanboy says, with Pauline's post, I think the new age of gaming is rising. Company studios have lots of failure while gamers notice indies more. Yes, I want to talk about the indie side of things a little bit more after this one real quick, Fanboy, but you touch on something really good. Let's read this comment real quick. Okay, I want to take a moment to say how deeply grateful I am for the people I had the privilege to work with. Incredibly talented, supportive, and passionate professionals, and generally wonderful human beings. Working together with you was more than just a job. It was an experience I will always value. And this is the thing. I don't know how it is in EU and stuff like that, but when it comes to like America and stuff like that, people really intertwine their personality with their job a lot here, right? And I'm getting this from his post here. He was very passionate about what he did at the company. Together, we tackled tough challenges, learned from each other, shared laughs, and grew. It was the people who truly made the place special. Ubisoft Halifax was not just an office, it was a team where everyone mattered. You all mattered to me, and I truly hope we will work together again. If you're looking for someone in UD 3D developer that has lots of skill points, please check them out. Please check them out here. I want to go back to what Fanboy was talking about with the rise of indies. So I'm seeing that more and more. Like, look at the Game Awards for last year, right? Like 3 of the nominees were part of Game of the Year. 3 of them. And for the multiplayer Game of the Year, Arc Raiders got it. And we all know how crazy Arc Raiders is blowing up. I mean, I played a lot on the channel on Mondays, but it's taken over. Battlefield is dropping off. Call of Duty, well, Call of Duty is gone, right? It's not even nowhere close. Both of those games combined doesn't even hit the numbers of what we're seeing on Steam for Arc Raiders. And a lot more indie games are rising up now. So I honestly see a shift in the industry, and we're going to be seeing a lot more indie games rise up and become the norm, right? These big companies, if they keep on playing games like this, people are just going to go indie, right? They're going to do things small. And I feel indies are able to pivot more, they're able to price their games more, and they're more community based, right? So I don't know, guys. And with that, with the rise of these prices when it comes to RAM and stuff like that, I feel like our hobby is getting priced out. And on top of that, with all these layoffs and the RAM prices, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting 2026, and I'm still hopeful. But if we're starting off 2026 like this with Ubisoft, man, I don't know. I'm also hearing rumors about Xbox laying off like 11,000 to 22,000 employees in January. Hopefully that's not the case. If it is, you know where to stop by to hear the latest news about that. Because I made a video about the 9,000 people that they laid off in the studios they had to close off last year. Let's hope that's not the same thing this year. But yeah, man, that's Ubisoft's layoff. That's Ubisoft's layoff, man, with this recent one. I didn't want to make this video. But I needed to talk about it because, you know, it affects recruiting, it affects the game industry, and those two topics is things I'm really passionate about. So thanks for stopping by. Shout outs to everyone that showed up. Oh, we got Fanboy. I think one of the aspects that these indie studios have is that they are creative freedom. Exactly. Creative freedom. That's there, right? They have a small budget that they're able to work around with, and they're more nimble than these bigger companies that, you know, the bureaucracy and the red tape and stuff like that. It's all there in those big industries. You have to go through a manager of a manager. While indie, you could just, it's very small. It's tight knit. Like look at Team Cherry. Look at the folks over at Clay Obscura 33 that made that game, right? Indies are rising up. They have big video game companies like, you know, Ubisoft, Xbox is playing games. We all know what's going to replace it in the end, right? We're going to see. We got Rudy here saying those big studios also have the ability to send half of the labor force of labor to Eastern Europe. Yeah, they're outsourcing a lot of their roles, right? I guess that's why we're seeing that H1B thing from the North America side with I think it was like 100,000 per H1B person that you have for your company. It's some wild numbers, but these big tech companies are able to pay for something like that, you know, like the Metas and stuff like that. But that's a story for a different day. Shout out to Rudy for stopping by. But yeah, I mean, that's it. That's the video, guys. I'm going to check out here. I'm going to be back tomorrow to play some Final Fantasy Tactics on the channel. We could talk more about the Ubisoft layoff there or anything else you want to talk about. If you are on the personal job hunt, press start with me and I'll leave you guys up. All right. I'll see you guys in the next level. Later.